The issue I want to address is one that will not be resolved by the end of the day. I hope that during Chris's tenure at the Max Bell School of Public Policy, you fix the problem, and I leave it to you, Chris, to follow up. My problem is democracy, and it's that things are not actually as they seem. And the role of public policy schools is to unpack the problem, do the analysis, and come up with a better interpretation and understanding and prescriptions for improving democracy. What we've just witnessed, I'm going to use two examples. We just witnessed the largest single democratic event in the history of the world. And that was the Chinese Communist Party conference about 2 weeks ago, where, and I saw the hands go up, so I know it was democratic, that President Xi was reinstated as the chairman of the Communist Party. And Xi thought was instituted in the Constitution. A huge democratic event. The second issue to me is a man-child with a very weird haircut, now in Asia, who is autocratic and has nuclear weapons, and his threats to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And the man-child, of course, is Donald Trump. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea is the obvious democratic body that is being threatened in this. So if things are not as they seem, we need to figure out how to do the analysis properly. So if you can't tell the players without a program, we need public policy education and research to understand them. We typically understand democracy as elections. Clearly, there's more to it than that. An independent judiciary, I see former Justice Fish is here, an independent press, institutions that are in themselves democratically responsible and accountable, transparency, the rule of law, protection of minorities. By the way, you know, referenda do not protect minorities. Referendums usually infringe minority rights. We need institutions like representative democracy that allows us to protect minority rights. So there's a huge array of these issues in there that we need to unpack. Let's look around the world very quickly. I don't have to talk about South Africa and Zimbabwe. Yesterday, the democratically elected president of Zimbabwe cut out his prime minister and gave his wife increased power. Clearly a democratically mandated change. We have the AfD in Germany, clearly elected as an important publicly elected party which holds challenges of their thought that are undemocratic. In Catalonia, we have the example of the duly elected governors of the state who have been incarcerated. That is a challenge to democracy in Western Europe that is beyond belief in some respects. And we now have this as an accomplished fact. Aung San Suu Kyi and a Nobel laureate, an honorary Canadian citizen who's unable to stand up to the military. And clearly the return of democracy is under threat. We have Bill Morneau, who did not put his assets in trust, and Stephen Bronfman, who did. We have Denis Coderre falling in democratic result to Madame Plante. So what does democracy really bring to us? Corruption, anti-corruption. That's an important element, that we need institutions that are going to fight anti-corruption. Going to fight corruption, sorry. You got to get the anti right. We have the threats to the media. And we see in south of the border the great challenges of fake news. Social media and the way social media operate in elections, which surprise us, but allow for echo chambers and narrow casting that change the dynamics of democratic processes. And so I'll conclude by saying, yes, things are not as they seem. Democracy is under stress and arguably in decline. And the role of a public policy school like the Max Bell School of Public Policy is to try to delve into it and unpack the problems and understand how to fix it. So Chris, not by the end of the day, but by the end of your tenure as director, I hope you fix it. Thanks.